Tell me if you'll let you. Hello and welcome to the Breakout Racing League here in BRL for Tier 3, the first equal tier live action here at Russia. On Wednesday we had F2, Thursday we had Realistic Tier, and now tonight we will have Tier 3. Here we have two DRS zones, the first one on the main straight, the second one is the other long straight, if you can see on the bottom right hand side of your screen. I don't know what it is called, I'll have to pull it up on Google for myself. I am once again here as Activity2, and unfortunately we will not be able to have Quick Tongue tonight due to him not feeling well. Hope he gets feeling better. If you're able to watch this, hope you're feeling better. But instead of Quick Tongue, I will have Michael Com for the substitute for tonight. Feta Cheese 33, how are you feeling since you were actually racing Realistic last night in the Haas and you got P7? Since you probably have more information on this track than I do, how are you feeling about this track? What do you think what these drivers are going to be doing?
First of all, it's been a while since I've commentated, but I'm glad to be back in the booth. Russia, it is, I mean, if you just look at the track and, like, see it without driving, you'll just, on paper, it seems so easy, but the main focus right now, it's going to be these, as you know, it is strict corner cutting, and, even the most consistent drivers in the top tiers even make some mistakes and get a warning, and 3 warnings outside the track, outside the white lines, does mean you get a 3-second, and a lot of it, you can get a lot of invalidations here in qualifying. So we are gonna see a lot of that at the start of qualifying, and even at the end during these high pressure times. But I'm just excited to see it. Like you said, first equal tier of the week. This is really everyone's chance to see what times are going to be doing around this track and what could be the strategy and the racing lines to take around here. But yeah, everyone's going on mediums. As you can see here, the strategy, soft, pretty easy soft medium.
Yes, like you said, the strategy here will be soft medium or medium soft. You saw in the Realistic Tier, everyone, it was a rank qualifying in Q2, so that would mean everyone would get a free tire choice. Essentially everyone except for 4 drivers started on the mediums, and the rest of the 4 started on softs. So could we possibly see the alternate strategy be played into effect here in Tier 3? But something else to consider, the rain. Like you said, track limits will be very tricky here at Russia, with many in the Realistic and F2 tier getting time penalties. Especially in the weather, if it's inter or full wet, it will make that challenge even more harder. But it seems like an even split field with mediums and softs, and really, with how many drivers are out in mediums right now, if I had to take a hypothesis, I believe it could be a dry race, but we're going to have to wait on that. That's a yellow flag in Sector 1. I believe that is Alfa Romeo of DXD, which, yes, it is. And speaking of an Alfa Romeo driver, if you don't see Catcher anymore, it's because she dropped out of this tier due to her difficulties with the game. It's just really unfortunate to see. The first driver, I believe, that will cross the line with big time is Titan in the McLaren, unless I am wrong. Maybe Ardell. Yes, it is actually Ardell. He's actually going to be the one doing pre-race interviews and qualifying tonight. So if you stay tuned, you'll see his interview with him. As he tops the timing sheet so far with a 32 flat, and Titan actually beats him with a 31.9. So it seems like lap times are already getting somewhat competitive, but it's too early to say that so far.
Potato sets the first time on medium, 0.6 off of Ardell, the slowest soft runner. We'll just have to wait and see once the times rack up.
Yes, the next driver to cross the line, I believe that is actually the McLaren. No, it's not the Alpine of DXR Rage, which is P4, a 32.9 on medium. Solar, and the other McLaren, sets a 32.1. So it seems like these medium runners expectedly are slower than soft runners, as the softs are usually faster here than the mediums. Actually, every track, the softs are actually faster than the mediums until the long run. The next driver to cross the line is an AlphaTauri of Stig that will start his lap now, as I believe that is Ron. Actually goes in the P2 with a 32 flat, gets ahead of Ardell, so it seems like Ron is looking pacey so far in qualifying. Gonna have to wait and see until the end of qualifying if he's invalidated on mediums. Gary's coming through sector 3 now, which to see his lap time is going through the penultimate corner now in 4th gear, going through the last corner now. It seems like he's just taking it smooth, and it goes P4 with a 32.1. So it seems like majority of the grid is rocking with the mediums. And Feta, since you already have the drivers championship sheet out, why won't you go ahead and tell us the championship after Monza?
Yeah, of course. So Ron in P2 right now, in the mediums, roughly 1/10 behind Titan. He's currently leading by 26 points in front of Ardell, who currently is 3rd in the timing sheets and qualifying right now. 66 hundredths are behind Ron in the faster compound. So Ron has, I would say, the mental edge. To Ardell is definitely gonna see that and just try and get some more time once he can. Gary in the Mercedes in 3rd right now, 4th in the timing sheet right now. Catcher, who's unfortunately retired, is 4th, but Taco in 5th. Taco is racing. He has not currently set a time yet, and that is the top 5. Now I'm gonna go to the team championship if I can. There we go. Red Bull are leading by 38 points compared to Mercedes. Gary being the only Mercedes to race today, so it's gonna definitely be a challenge to try and catch up to both. Sorry, actually you're right, Ardell and Gary are the only two of their respective teams racing today. So yeah, that gives a bit of rivalry and a bit of a story as we go along the race here. Ferrari, who is piloted by Ron Swanson and Whiffy Winner, are in 3rd right now, 189 points, 47 points behind Red Bull and 7 points behind Mercedes. Alfa Romeo in 4th with Ichigo and no, he's the only one here, with Ichigo and Aston Martin in 5th with Piastri and Taco Man, who have not currently set a time.
Yes, and to round out the Constructors Championship, we have Alpine 6th, AlphaTauri 7th, McLaren 8th, Haas 9th, and Williams 10th. As I believe everyone is going in the pit lane now. If they're not in the pit lane, they're probably on an end lap. Gary, I believe, is actually doing some more laps on the medium compounded tire. So it seems like he's just practicing right now to get the groove of Russia, really. See what the preferred lines are, at least in the Grand Prix, because I would not be surprised if he put a lot of fuel in the car and just decided to do laps to ensure that he knows what this track is and how to be quicker at it.
Yeah. Thinking of inviting Ardell.
Actually, right now, you're right. I actually forgot. I will not lie. Pit lane. He's probably waiting on us.
Yeah,
he did, in fact. Hey. Oh, I. Wait, hold on. There we go. Jeez. Down bad here. The.
Hi.
Hey.
Alright, is your audio included?
Yes.
Alright, the lone Red Bull driver, BRL, Ardell, we said this a minute ago, you're going to be the lone driver for Russia, which will mean quite a lot for Constructors Championship, but that's going to be a question further on in this interview. But we're going to first off, how do you feel about your pace here at Russia, and what are your expectations for moving on forward in the championship?
I mean, I'm just trying to really get points, try to finish ahead of Ron this race. Where my pace stands, just because I'm pretty sure the times will eventually fall in this session as the track groups up. Going forward in the championship, try to be, I guess, more consistently at the front, or like near the front. Try to beat Ron on track a couple times and try to close down that gap near the end of the season.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah. Now on the constructors side, you are out compared to Mercedes. Now you and Git both are the only people racing on your respective teams. Do you think Gary being here, attending out on track, will give you sort of pressure to both beat Ardell and Gary, or are you just focusing on, sorry, both Ron and Gary, or are you just focusing on the driver's side of things?
I mean, like obviously I'm focusing on both of them, but I feel like both Gary and I know like both good drivers will both respect each other. We won't push extremely hard just because we don't have anyone to back us up in these races. So I'm hoping it'll be a bit less aggressive between us, and we can hopefully just try to pull a gap eventually on people.
Yes, that would be a good mentality for the drivers and constructors championship. But unless Feta has any more questions, that will be
Thank you.
everything from us. Yes, thank you for being in this pre-race interview. We'll be keeping a close eye on you to see if you're actually keeping the sword or unless it's just bad luck. But like you said, times will be falling down at the end of this qualifying, and you are free to go. As like how I just said before, we did not bring this up. AlphaTauri Stig was P1 for a while, but now Ron in the Ferrari already went up 5/10. So like how Ardell said, the track is indeed gripping up, and these times will start going off the charts rather quickly. Now, I believe it will be Rage that's on a flying lap. Now, Gary is coming across the penultimate quarter and now crossing the line to start his lap, unless he invalidated, and he did not. I believe that is Potato, that he is 2/10 down. That will put him at a 30 ahead of Solar, Rage, and Gary, and possibly even Ardell. I just have to wait and see because these lap times are actually very, very close, and he actually goes up in the P2, 9 ahead of Stig and Titan. And like how Ardell said, I apologize, it's not a broken record, but getting lower and lower as Gary actually sets a purple sector 1, and that I believe that is in the long left-hander, and that will actually be one of the trouble spot track, and it seems like every week we have at least one trouble spot, and yes, it is the long left-hander.
Yeah, that's a good name. Trouble, really just one of those hard corners where you have to take it perfect every time, or else if you run wide, you get a warning. If you cut the corner a bit too much, you'll go off flying to the barrier, and position where if you win or was he probably just lost traction.
Yes, and a Mercedes driver, which will play a big role in constructors, but the penultimate corner was 4.5 tenths up. That will leave P2 ahead of DXT actually, and never mind, he goes top of the session with a third, barely ahead of Ron, and DXT went up in the P2 for a while before Gary put him down in the P3. Potato is in the pit, and Kieran is now out now. Piastri has invalidated his lap time. Kieran going now. Excuse me, I'm taking quite a lot of sips from my milkshake right now because I will not lie, I asked right now, and I'm commentating while being, I wouldn't say sick, but not 100%. Well, maybe you could call it sick, but I'm not 100%. I apologize if the sudden stops. It's just me taking a sip of my milkshake, which is probably not helping me anyway, just making it worse. At least for now, it will help, so help here, Feta, which you are, and I greatly appreciate it.
Do you want to go on board
going
for a lap? Yeah, so
yes, I actually gotta hurry and do that.
So going through the first stretch, breaks right after the 100-meter board, misses the apex a bit. If you get it right, you can gain around 1 or 2 tenths there. Going through turn 3, make sure you don't invalidate, keeping it close there on the curb. Here, all of a sudden, touches the apex, takes that corner nicely, up into 5th gear, 6th gear, 7th gear, right after the curb, hits the apex really good, 1/10 down actually, probably caused by that turn 1. Now this corner really fast, takes it really good, and like you said, one of the hardest, invalidates There we go. That, as we saw there, folks, is one of the deciding factors of Russia that can lead for disaster. But I think he's still going, which is good. Going through the sector 3. Oh, brakes really late. Still keeps it on. This is really off camber. You have to be aware of your traction there. Brakes right after that crane. The apex nicely there. To the apex nicely there to turn 16. Gonna go into, and that is around half a lap of Russia there. Beginning of the session, I believe. I cannot see by the yellow flag.
Go with Stig?
I think we covered.
He's going pits.
I don't think it'll be worth it.
Yeah, you're right. Man, can't get a full lap these days.
For real.
Last week I tried doing it with Katrin and she crashed and going through Leslie.
Commentators bummed. It'd be like that
Nah,
sometimes.
bro. It'd be like that. It's tough. It's tough. As Kieran actually retired, is that going in the pit lane? Hold on. I think go on board for on as he's actually on an out lap. And yes, he crashed going into the pit lane. Actually, he didn't. He retired. He retired in the pit lane. Never mind. As Solar retired in the pit lane as well. So did our Dell, I believe. Yes, it was. All those drivers retiring in the pit lane, but the driver we're focusing on now, going through turn 1 now, is the Ferrari of Ron Swanson P2, barely down on Gary. You're probably assuming that he has more pace in the tank now, going through turn 2. Now, actually, this is turn 4. Let's see what his sector 1 time is. Looks really clean so far. Going through sector 1, he's actually a 10th down, so he's probably lost some time somewhere while we were on board with him. Now he sector 2 now looks very clean, gets on the curb, hits the curb a little bit going in the inside part of the corner, but here the trouble spot, do not invalidate or spin out, and he's able to avoid all that calamity. Now going through this turn, I have no clue what number it is or what it's called. I have to pull it up.
Going through the second DRS.
Yeah, second DRS straight. Now he's actually going to get a little bit of tow from the sister team, Alfa Romeo. Purple sector 2, but not much. He's still down barely though. As long as he can just improve on one corner, that might be it for provisional pole. Now 10 seconds, 12, 11. Now 10 seconds left in qualifying. I believe Ron has to get another go. He actually misses the corner a little bit. 3 seconds, 2, 1, and that will actually be it for qualifying. Ron will not get a second run in, and he actually barely doesn't improve.
Know how really close this qualifying is. Oh, the top 3 are 10th. It should go pits. So, unless someone else can knock around 5 tenths out of their belt, I think Gary might have it locked.
He's the one so far. Let's see what his sector 2 time is. I don't think that's going to be enough unless his sector 3 time before was really have to wait and see. Going through sector 3 now. Gets a good corner, good apex going through there. Gets on the throttles. Now going through the penultimate corner. Still no one able to challenge the Mercedes of Stig. Now going through here, it will not be enough. And he's actually barely, Kieran Evans, and that was barely between himself, Ron, and Dixie and Gary. So that puts Titan third. Dixie P4 with a 31.5. Only one to contend, and he does not improve. Yeet Doggo was invalidated, so that's going to be qualifying over. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. Gary improved to a 31.2.
Wow, crazy. That's that confidence edge going into the race. 2 tenths faster than Ron Swanson. It's going to be a heck of a race. I mean, look at that top 4.
Yeah, Tier 3 has been going insane lately. Good racing with races and another qualifying. Now I'm still waiting on the weather, fun fact. Probably because I don't even Wi-Fi will not connect to my phone for some reason, so open that. Anyway, that is qualifying concluded. That will bro. We've time traveled a couple years apparently. Then we have a McLaren in third, Alfa Romeo fourth, with Gary on pole, Ron second, fifth of Potato. That round out your top 5. Then we have Dal, Rage, Taco, and Solar, which fun for them will start on the medium, so just for deciding to do the alternate strategy for the 2, and then we have Kieran 11th, the other Kieran 12th, Udago 13th, and Piastri 15th.
They're saying the stream's lagging a bit. If you could like lower the bit rate or something. You there?
That's yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. By
Yeah.
stick.
You want to switch?
It is. Yeah, we can.
Yeah, switch.
But I'll have to stream
Uh,
on my account, not the BRL.